nervous on the surface, I look fine. My brain feels heavy, my traumatized mind. And I'm so tired, I can't feel my eyes. Whoa, whoa. I'm petty, but I know how to lie. I feel feelings that I can't describe. I'm not breathing, but I'm still alive. Whoa, whoa.
Shout out to Neoliberal Tears for this.
Shout out to Twitter/X user Neoliberal Tears for resurfacing this clip.
Neoliberal Tears commented at the top of the show, "What happened to my music?" One of my favorite commenters.
Yeah, big fan.
So much affection for me.
Keep it in mind. Prepare for a holiday season of Neoliberal Tears.
Hello. Welcome to Nightcap/Evening Cap. What time is it? 6:52? Yeah, I guess it's kind of nighttime. Nightcap with Neoliberal Tears. I'm the one and only Neoliberal Tears. And today I wanted to talk about some brouhaha that's going on in the world of leftist US electoral politics. / maybe not. So today's title is Big Red because I wanted to chat a little bit about Graham Platner and some of the disagreement that exists, at least from what I'm observing. And you know my litmus test for any candidate whatsoever, regardless of party affiliation or no affiliation. My one litmus test for all of them is to be anti-Zionist. Whether they immediately, the first thing I look at is if they support the one-state solution with equal rights from the river to the sea and the right of return of all Palestinian refugees and their descendants. And we actually did have a Democratic candidate, Chris Rabb, who campaigned on this issue. So he's going to join Rashida in Congress. And so Chris Rabb supports the one-state solution, equal right from the river to the sea, the right of return of Palestinian refugees. So Chris has my unwavering support, even though he's a Democrat. And there's a whole question about whether the Democratic Party deserves to be redeemed. Honestly, I don't think it does. But I still support people, nevertheless, who campaign on my litmus tests and my issues. So let's look at Graham Platner. By the way, I titled today's stream Big Red because if you've seen a picture of him, he's big and a redhead. I didn't mean any offense by that. I also added a little bit of a flag emoji, like a red flag emoji, because maybe he's a red flag, maybe not, who knows? I'm not too excited to okay, sorry, why am I already going off track? This is his policy website, okay? So I wanted to see if he supports the one-state solution. And this is the only thing I could find on his website that has to do with Palestine, and it's this section, the war in Gaza. Graham says, "I have not minced words on this issue. We are sending American taxpayer dollars to underwrite the starvation of Gaza in what can only be accurately described as a genocide. I stand with all people seeking peace, democracy, and self-determination. In this moment, that means a clear-eyed condemnation of the Gaza genocide and the use of every means available to America to bring it to an end." All right, so that's nice. But I don't see anything here about equal rights from the river to the sea. I don't see anything about the right of return. So unfortunately, so far, Mr. Platner, you have not, Mr. Big Red, you have not passed my litmus test. And I know it's going to be heartbreaking to you. I have 4 people watching my streams. So I clearly gonna tank your campaign. I can already hear in my ear every time I criticize a Democrat. I don't know if it's like a condition or what's going on with me, but I can hear Ryan Grimm's voice yelling at me, telling me I'm screwing up Democrats' plans to retake the Senate. It's really difficult to criticize any candidates right now without getting the spirit of Ryan Grimm to yell at you. Ryan, if you're watching this, Love you very much. So nothing. So look, I mean, and the reason why I'm giving Mr. Big Red a little bit of a hard time here is that it's not enough to say what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. I mean, it might seem like a lot if you're a progressive strategist in DC and you think that's all people are looking to vote for. I disagree. Not to mention that 2026 is an off-year election cycle. So if you really want to turn people out who care about Palestine, just saying genocide is not enough. And we see tons of Democrats doing exactly this, saying, I think Catherine Clark is another one. She's a Democratic representative in the House for Massachusetts. She called what happened in Gaza a genocide, and she still supports the two-state solution. So it's like, so what's the point? What's the point? Are you just trying to use the right words to score points, to get people to vote for you? Like, because you're not, if you're trying to do that, you're not succeeding. You're not succeeding. It's not enough to call it a genocide if you don't also have the right analysis that talks about ending apartheid from the river to the sea. And again, there's a Democrat who passed my crazy, unreasonable litmus test, and his name is Chris Rabb. So Chris, thank you. Thank you for letting me use you as an example to show politicians how it needs to be done. So thank you. So this is from Mr. Platner's website. Also, I know that some stuff came out in terms of whatchamacallit, the sexting stuff, to be honest, and you know, and they interviewed some of his ex-girlfriends and all that stuff. I haven't read any of that stuff, so I'm not going to weigh in on that. That's not where my analysis is going to come from. I hope that's okay. I trust, if you're one of the 4 people who watch my streams, I trust that you're very smart, very intelligent, and can assess that on your own. Oh my God, I have a few comments. Oh my God. Hey, Fascism Watch. Good to see you. I won't downplay you. I promise. I promise. Yeah, Mr. Grimm is definitely on Team Platner. I really hope Ryan is not watching this right now. He shouldn't be. There's no reason for him to. But some of the disagreement that I've noticed about Graham Platner and why I don't think, this is my prediction, I could be wrong. Ryan, if you're watching this later, don't kill me, don't sue me. I think, and I've thought this for a while. Even before Janet Mills quit the race, I thought Graham is going to win the nomination for the Democratic primary, and he's going to lose the general election. And I still believe that. I do believe that. I can already hear Ryan Grimm running towards me, trying to, like, you know, end me for putting that out into the universe. But I genuinely believe that, because I don't think he's going to inspire enough people to vote for him over Susan Collins. I could be wrong, and I'd love to eat my words in November. That's my prediction. So the disagreement I've noticed so far is some leftists who view his record of serving, being in the military, and going to war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the things he said about his military service that have really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Good reason. And honestly, I think the way people's concerns have been dismissed when it comes to the way he talked about specifically Iraqi and Afghani people, and how much he enjoyed being in the military and doing that. I think he called it an event. We're going to hear him. Actually, let's go to him, try to sort of contextualize those Reddit comments. Oh my God, my other best. I have 2 of my besties here. Mr. Seeking Truth and Canines. Hello. And if you have any pets, hello to them too. At this day and age, if a Democratic candidate cannot say something as clear-cut as one state, with equal rights and right of return of Palestinians, that candidate will not fight for medical for all or free education. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. Ryan, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this, Ryan? I didn't say that. I didn't. I said that. I said that maybe yesterday to myself, but not this time. Hey. Thank you, Mr. Truth and K9. You always, you and Fascism Watch always know how to sort of articulate my thoughts better than I can. So I appreciate you. And I completely agree, of course. And it's not even that hard, you know? Like, I mean, I really don't get I feel like they had like a strategy meeting, right? With all of the progressives and some YouTubers maybe in the mix. And they sort of all coalesced together and decided, okay, with the candidates, and decided, okay, we're just make sure you use the word genocide and you're golden. You're good to go. Progressives are going to line up behind you. There's going to be a line out the door to get ready to vote for you of all pro-Palestine people. And I don't know who decided that. I wasn't included. And I think they're more than anything, I think they're wrong. They think they can say, yes, it's a genocide, and that's why I support a two-state solution. which is what politicians do, right? They triangulate you to death. They really don't know how to stand for anything. And sorry, Afghan people, of course, not Afghani. Afghani is the currency. Thank you for that. Afghani and Afghan is the people. Thank you, Mister. I appreciate you. 1,000%. So let's see Mr. Big Red say what he meant when it came to those Reddit comments.
Post before he deleted it before launching his Senate campaign last summer.
1,800 comments.
News Center Maine obtained the whole file and not from a Platner political opponent. It prints out to 663 pages. In an interview, we asked Platner about a batch of posts soon after he'd finished his 4 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. You wrote, "Wartime was a hell of an awesome experience. I would do it again in a heartbeat."
Yep.
Combat was a really fulfilling experience. It's hard to explain how much I enjoyed combat. It's both physically and intellectually challenging.
Sorry, can we just play that just one more time? I feel like I don't want to glaze over that. God. 4 tours as infantryman in the Marines and then Army, did both Iraq and Afghanistan. It's hard to explain how much I enjoyed combat. It is both physically and intellectually challenging. And he was, I believe, he also was stationed at Abu Ghraib, the notorious prison in Iraq. And it is both physically and intellectually challenging and incredibly exciting, especially the first few times. I was never a huge fan of killing, at least not for killing's sake, but I did love winning, and that required killing. When a fight is over and your element has not only survived but also killed or captured enemy combatants, well, it's a feeling of accomplishment that cannot be replicated. I'm sorry, I'm really disgusted with people who talk about war or killing people like it's a fucking video game. That's so disgusting to me. Like, I'm actually... In the end, civilian life really seems devoid of purpose or excitement after intense combat. Oh, he wanted to kill more people. Oh, it's so sad. Given the choice of a safe, stable, and fulfilled civilian life, or another tour like Ramadi in 2006, I wouldn't even hesitate. I mean, and to be fair, he wrote that in 2015, right? Is that what it says? Okay, let's go. Let's play.
And intellectually challenging. That war, I think you're referring to Iraq, that war was the most enjoyable experience of my life.
The most enjoyable of my life. Of my life.
Enjoyed the hell out of fighting in Afghanistan. And then finally, in 2020, you wrote under the banner, "Why did you enlist in the Marines?" You wrote, "I wanted..."
Are you reading this? Wanted to have an adventure, and some people joined up in '04, did Fallujah and Ramadi, and managed both. Hell of an excellent experience. It's like he keeps leaving. It's like he thinks Reddit is Yelp or something, but for like leaving 5 stars for killing people. Like what? How does he feel so comfortable writing that shit in public? That's what's so crazy.
To have an adventure and kill some people.
At the time I joined, 2004, I mean, I don't think there was a single guy I joined the Marine Corps with who went to infantry units who did not join up to fight. That's what the Marine Corps is there for.
So they all joined to kill people. So it wasn't just him. Why are you blaming just him? I 1000% agree with Fascism Watch here. Incels, losers want power. And they think killing people is sort of like, I don't know, it's like their version of getting high or something. I mean, I genuinely don't know.
At the time, I was proud of that I was good at it. I was proud of my service. And for quite some time, actually, it was the most important thing that ever happened to me. And I derived a lot of pride and purpose from it. I mean, as I've gotten older and come to grips with the fact that the violence I took part in effectively had no purpose.
Not took part in, committed. You committed that violence. You said it was the most enjoyable experience. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Please don't kill me, okay? You're definitely stronger.
Or it had no benefit for the United States. I don't think that the war in Iraq did anything good for the American people.
But you posted in 2021, you called the war an ethical horror show that imperialist adventures.
2021? Oh my God. From Seeking Truth in K9, he sounds like the DSA version of Eddie Gallagher. You know, the Navy SEAL who Trump pardoned for war crimes? Yes. That was psychotic. Oh my God. But the DSA version. He'll use the word oligarch in there. He'll throw it in there somewhere. But still super proud of. I guess not anymore, according to him. I mean, so if you're to believe him, he had a change of heart in the last 5 years, because this post is from 2021. Here's what he said here. Every day was a stark reminder of the ethical horror show that imperialist adventures always turn into. It was also deeply disheartening to see men I liked and respected conduct themselves in awful ways, so I'm sure. Because frankly, morally bankrupt military campaigns always seem to extend that rot down to people tasked with doing the fighting. Okay. Sorry, I just got chills. I did used to love America, or at least the idea of it. These days, I'm disgusted by it all. Okay, so at least this isn't as bad as the other ones. Like, this post is not as bad. I still wouldn't call killing people an imperialist adventure. But maybe there was some progress there.
Often turn into. You went on to say, though, I used to love America, or at least the idea of it. These days, I'm pretty disgusted by it all. You still feel that way?
I am disgusted by the systems. I am disgusted by a political system that has, over year after year, continued to use militarism as the base of our foreign policy. I am disgusted by a political system which in many ways does not care about the human cost of war, whether on our side or the violence that we dole out to civilian populations in the countries we go fight these wars in. That disgusts me. I'm not disgusted by America or Americans. In fact, that's why I'm running for United States Senate. I have an immense amount of hope.
In Portland, Phil Hirschkorn for News Center, Maine.
You
Whoops, sorry guys. Thank you for hanging on. That was Ryan Grimm logging me off. Just kidding, just kidding. No, I accidentally closed the window. I think I was a little bit jittery from, I don't know, anytime I don't know, like a person like that who likes violence talks, I just get a little nervous. But okay, I mean, so his case is that, you know, it was the system that was wrong, that he's criticizing, and that's why he wants to be in the US Senate, to be voted in, so that he can change the system, less wars. That's his case, right? So I feel like this was the post that I saw that I think started a lot of the conversation. And it's from friend of the show, not really, Emma Vigeland, who I gave lots of props to, deservedly so, because she was, you know, she's pretty consistent, not always, but pretty consistent on supporting the one-state solution. So props, Emma, props to you. But here's something. Here's how she framed some of the criticism of Graham Platner. How many people get tattoos that they thought looked cool but didn't understand the meaning of? How many vets took mercenary work for a period because the U.S. doesn't support them? How many young men have shit posted online? Do we want an authentic working class party or not? Now, the backlash to, I guess, and it wasn't just Emma that sort of phrased things that way, like, you know, to sort of say, well, he joined Blackwater because maybe he had to, you know, he was like struggling financially. He was, you know, just a working class person. And then it comes out that Platner went to a private boarding school that cost $75,000 a year, that he didn't have to join the military to lift himself out of poverty. And it also asks the question of, if you're joining a military to, let's say, lift yourself up from poverty, which, to be clear, that's not, I think, the reason Platner joined. But even if he did, would that justify killing people, or Afghan people, or Iraqi people? Is that how much? And a lot of people's reaction to an argument like that is, why do you not see Iraqi people and Afghan people as equal human beings? Like, you know, is it okay for someone to kill them because they were trying to alleviate their student debt? And I think there's a genuine difference of opinion on this between political commentators who think that, yeah, joining the military to get out of poverty should be excused, commendable, and other leftists who say, no, you don't get a pass just because you didn't want to have student debt, so you killed people in Iraq. And I think it's a real disagreement, which is the only reason why I'm really talking about it, despite not really feeling like it, because I'm scared of Ryan Grimm. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. So here's another tweet that I saw that sort of spoke to that. Schism, if you will. American liberals will say ICE is the most evil organization ever, then be first in line to defend their military. At least with MAGA, they defend both and have consistency. Yeah. So there's also a contradiction in saying you want to abolish ICE, but you support the troops, right? Let's see this one. And by the way, I hope you're having a good enough Saturday, considering everything. And this is from Mehdi Orti. I don't fucking care how underprivileged you are, how poor you are, how the system fucked you over. It will never excuse joining an army that kills us, ruins our countries, and takes away our children. The audacity to say this is a privileged take is frankly shocking to me. That's a good point. That is a good point. And it goes, and the reason why they mentioned it being a privileged take is because of this tweet, which ignited some of the disagreement. And so this lady posted a TikTok that said, there is no valid reason to join the military, by the way. And the comments were saying, oh, this is a very privileged take, by the way. That's kind of privileged to say, not gonna lie. That, like, it's privileged to say that you shouldn't join the military to kill people and use poverty as an excuse. Calling that privileged is insane, right? Because trust me, Afghan people are not privileged in that situation. Iraqi people are not privileged. Yeah. So this person reacted to that privileged framing. Oh, I'd rather kill brown kids in the Middle East than get a minimum wage job. You know, sort of putting the hypocrisy on display. Let's see another one. Americans be like, I have to sign up to go kill innocents in the Middle East because I'm poor. Yikes. Yikes. Let's see this one. Americans have to realize how privileged it is that they get to join the killing poor people abroad factory to get out of poverty themselves. Yeah. Yeah. And last one. Thank you for bearing with me through these takes. So this was in reply to Ryan Grimm, saying Nathan says the opening speaker is Graham's mom. So this is from Iman, Red Triangle. How many moms and dads did Platner kill in Afghanistan and Iraq? How many dads did he hear being tortured while being a camp guard at Abu Ghraib? Why does only your humanity matter? And I call this guy being a ghoul when he endorsed Josh IOF Shapiro for BP. That is true. Ryan Grimm did support Josh Shapiro for VP. If you want me to look up the video, I'm happy to. Oh, and here Fascism Watch notes correctly that Mr. Grimm never really smiles. It's true. I think I was trying to think of a scenario where he would smile, and that's if AOC gets elected president, which will never happen. What else? If Democrats somehow magically won 70 Senate seats and do nothing with it, he just wants Democrats to win. He doesn't care what they actually do with their majorities. That's the thing about the Grim Reaper. So I'm not really, but I think the winning, just winning in general, I think would motivate him to maybe move some lip muscle, maybe half a smile. Yeah. And after from Seeking Truth, after 4 years of being in the Marines, he went to George Washington University, also a super affluent school. So when was he struggling? Yeah, I don't think, from what I've read about his background, I don't think I don't think he was struggling. Although to be fair, maybe the GI Bill. So maybe so he didn't have to pay tuition, right? And I also read that the place where he lives now, like he got the mortgage from his dad, so he's paying a mortgage, but like to his dad. So I don't think he joined the military to because he couldn't find any other work or anything. I think it's what he said at the time, which is he wanted an adventure. And a lot of people view joining the military that way. That's the problem, right? And I think there are leftists now who view, and especially like younger people, Gen Z, who don't see the military as an adventure of any kind and would like to see someone who maybe did serve say something to the effect of, as long as we're pursuing regime change and killing people for oil or natural resource or whatever it is, no one should join that kind of operation, right? It's a death factory. And I think in that sense, Platner tries to say the right things and say, oh, it's the system that sent me abroad. But that's not really accurate. He sent him, I feel like he's not being entirely honest. He's not saying, I think if he were to be honest, he would say something like, at the time I thought it was an adventure. It was going to elevate my status in society because then I'm a veteran and people respect veterans and all that stuff. And now I'm ashamed of it, or I'm ashamed of the things I've done or the people I killed. It felt to me like he was trying to find the right words to say the right words, but I don't think he genuinely regrets. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm a nobody. I'm speculating. And we have another one from, sorry, I missed your comment, Fascism Watch. And also thank you always for being on the watch. Spooky Socialist just criticized Platner and is receiving tons of DMs. I don't like Spooky, just reporting it as it is linked to our subject. Oh, so yeah, what did he say? How did he criticize Platner for his perspective on the military stuff, or was it kind of the sexting stuff? Was it just like general criticism? I think there is legitimate criticism that doesn't really get aired out at all. So I'm glad to hear that Spooky Socialist. I'm not familiar with them. If you recommend them, should I watch them? Let me know. I think that a lot of people are just like not criticizing Platner because he has the same consultant firm, fight agency that we see helping other candidates like Dan Osborne in Nebraska. And so I feel like it's a shame because if we had actual journalists on the beat, like, if Emma Vigeland or Ryan Grimm had a little bit of a curiosity to sort of air out this criticism that exists on the left, I think we would maybe get more insight into how Graham Platner actually feels. Crystal Ball too. I mean, they just not all of them. I feel like they're invested in Platner winning over Collins, and because they're so invested in him winning, they don't want to air out any criticism that's out there and is legitimate because they are afraid that that's going to hurt his chances. Whereas I'm from the perspective of, you can try to sweep it under the rug or pretend it doesn't exist, but all you're doing is what liberals always do, which is bury their heads in the sand and saying, no, everything's fine, this is fine, everything's fine. If you just pretend criticism doesn't exist, everyone's going to turn up on election day because he's still better than Susan Collins. And I think I'm not invested in Graham Platner winning, but if I was, I would air out that criticism openly and even play devil's advocate to really put it out there and then let him respond to it, because you're not getting anywhere by trying to sweep stuff under the rug. From our friend Fascism Watch, not sure what it was about, not certain, probably the last event with women. Yeah, I haven't read that so I really can't say, but I trust people coming up to their own conclusions. From Seeking Truth, has Platner ever been to an anti-war rally? Oh, I actually think he has been to one, like, and it's ironically, Ryan Grimm posted it, him, Platner, either challenging Bush, or it was before he joined the Marine, but he was basically like saying, why are we going to Iraq? Why are you? So it was like, so he did sort of like, he was on the side of like, oh, Iraq war bad, let me challenge, I think it was Bush about it. But then he joined the military in 2004. So like 3 years into the occupation too. So, so has he been to an anti-war rally? Yeah, and then he joined the war. Or helped active duty soldiers go to the conscientious objector. You say, there we go. This is what, go to the conscientious objector route. This is what he could have done, right? Or encouraged young kids to not join the military. You see, this is where I think he would have alleviated a lot of, not that I'm trying to help him in any way, but like, I think that would have alleviated a lot of concerns people have of like, oh, you just enjoyed killing people. He could have said, actually, I think right now, like with the war in Iran, and the genocide in Gaza, we should not be encouraging young people to join the military. And those that are, you should go the conscientious objective route. And if you have any questions about how to do that, here's the hotline number. And if you have any questions about, if you're in the military and you're scared and you don't know what to do, you can email my campaign and we're gonna help you go the conscientious objector route. I think that would have earned him some credibility that he genuinely regrets the things he did in the military, right? Like, you know, if he was actually trying to use it to sort of help young people out of this kind of situation. So Bush sold him on the idea of going to war, right? Like maybe Bush, like he was persuaded. Actually, let me try to find that clip. Thank you for that. Because I think maybe we can get some insight into what he was like before he, you know, killed people. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, I found it. Are you guys able to see my screen? Oh yeah, you are. Good. Thank you. Okay. Graham Platner and Susan Collins in the same room in 2002. Collins cheering for war, Platner shouting at Bush, "Don't attack Iraq." And then he went and attacked Iraq. This isn't a video, it's just a picture. So I'm assuming Platner DM'd it to Ryan and said, hey, can you tweet about this? Because this is a picture. I'm seeing Susan Collins here. Oh, okay. This is from Andrew Gazinski. Bangor Daily News noted in 2002 that Graham Platner was kicked out of a Bush rally for protesting the forthcoming Iraq war for yelling, "Don't attack Iraq." Okay, let's listen to the video.
I want to thank the
Oh God, Bush's fake accent. Do you remember that? Sorry, guys. Oops, sorry.
I want to thank the grassroots activists who are here. I want to thank the people who take time, who work hard to make sure.
Are you guys able to hear it well? Let me know. And seeking traitors, like what? Yeah, yep, exactly. Okay, let's see. Let's listen to the video. And Bush's fake Texas accent still kills me. No, he was able to get away with it.
I want to thank the grassroots activists who are here.
Grassroots
I want to
activists.
thank the people who take time, who work hard to make sure that the democracy is strong. I want to thank you very much for your efforts on behalf of all candidates. I want to thank you for what you have done. I want to thank you for what you're going to do, and that is to turn out to vote for these candidates on November the 5th. When I say that I understand Susan Collins, I do. I've worked closely with her. I want to thank the grassroots activists who are here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was low for me too. I didn't hear him on my end saying anything, but it was reported at the time, so I believe it happened. And this is from the newspaper. I'll maximize it so that we can all see. I thought it was the perfect time, Platner said. He unfolded a small sign he had hidden in his pants in a pants pocket and raised it high to display the words "No War." I started yelling, "Don't attack Iraq. If our best generals tell us not to go to war, why should we?" Platner said. Bush looked right at me, and people started yelling for me to shut up, but he saw me. Platner said a rally-goer ripped the sign out of his hand as he was escorted out of the hangar and directed back up the road a few hundred yards to the parking area at the corner of Main Avenue and Godfrey Boulevard. Okay. So he was a little bit of he had that instinct to be against war at the time. And yeah, 1,000% fascism watch. Collins is a total fucking loser. Can you believe, like, she's been agitating for war her whole fucking life. This is from 22 years ago. No, more than that, right? What, 2002? 24 years ago. God, and she's still in the fucking Senate. I mean, so that's why my question is, are we just replacing one dinosaur with a younger, also violent and war-loving dinosaur, right? I'm not in Maine. I don't think I know anyone in Maine except Chris Hedges, who I'm sure will vote for Graham Platner. No, I'm just kidding. Bush looked into his eyes and saw his soul. Yeah, maybe they had like a little exchange. Like, hey, listen, we're going into Iraq for oil. Trust me on this. Don't trust the generals. I forgot that generals apparently weren't supportive of the. I mean, but also like, not to nitpick, right? I take issue with this idea that like you shouldn't go and kill people in Iraq because our generals tell us not to. How about coming at it from a moral perspective of we shouldn't kill people in Iraq, period. End of story. Regardless of whether a general signed off on it or not. You can always find the general, excuse me. You can always find the general to advocate for war if that's what you need them to do. I think Trump sort of like fired the general who didn't agree on the Iran strategy, and then he just found another one that would support. Like, it's one of those things where you're always going to find people in Congress and the military branch who are enthusiastic to kill people abroad. The question is, are you opposing it for a moral reason or for a strategic reason? I don't know. Or I guess, does it even matter? I'll pose the question. As long as you oppose war. Well, it's funny, like, so when Bush looked into his eyes and saw his soul, I wonder, like, because Bush at the time definitely didn't have a soul, right? Platner maybe still had a soul because he hasn't killed anybody yet that we know of. So maybe Platner like looked into the darkness of George Bush's eyes, and then that darkness overtook him. Maybe that's what happened. Kind of like a spell. Anyway, just something to think about. Yeah. So that's Platner, right? But I also wanted to kind of, so I saw this article, and it's sort of, because I've been sort of wondering in my head, like, why are all of these these commentators who have strategist friends and inside sources in the Democratic Party, why are all of them so fucking focused on this one Senate race in Maine? Whereas, like, for example, Cory Booker was just up for, they had primaries in New Jersey, right? He was up for a primary, first time in 6 years, and no one talked about his primary challenge. No one. But we get an endless stream of, monologues, videos about Platner. Why Platner? Why not? What if you are opposed? If you are anti-Zionist, wouldn't you also be invested in primarying the incumbents who are up for re-election this year, first time in 6 years, and try to get them out as well? Why Platner? So this article sort of like elucidated it for me. So I wanted to share that. So it's from Politico. It was published on the June 4th. Democrats are furious after the latest Platner revelations. Okay. Again, I didn't read the revelations, so I can't comment on that. And I'll be, oh, sorry guys, I'll make it bigger. Thank you for bearing with me. By the way, I hope I'm getting a little bit faster when it comes to moving in between articles. Thank you for bearing with me. Ik would agree. Okay. Let's see. So this is just keep that in your back pocket for this quote from a Democratic strategist, right? Okay. Several donors I know are still all in for Platner because he's not Susan Collins and he's a Democrat, said Alex Hoffman, a Democratic strategist and donor advisor. The line that keeps being thrown around is the double standard that exists between Republicans and Democrats, where if this was a Republican, they'd all get up behind them. Mind you, okay, so keep that in your mind. The line that gets thrown around is the double standard. And this is from a Democratic strategist / donor advisor, whatever that means. Okay, now Ro Khanna gave a quote, nobody cares. Ro Khanna is so desperate for media exposure because he's trying to run for president, but no one gives a shit. Like literally, he keeps polling at like 0%. And he's all over the media. Like people just don't want to hear from him, including me. Sorry, getting tangent here. Still other than... Okay, here we go. Thank you for bearing with me. Found it. Winning Maine is all but a necessity for Democrats' chances of taking back the Senate this fall. Collins is the only Republican senator up for re-election this year, in a state former Vice President Kamala Harris won in 2024. If Democrats can't knock her off, they'd have to win a far redder state, such as Iowa or Texas, to get control of the upper chamber. You see why it's so important for Democrats, like specifically the Platner race? Because if they don't win Maine, it's almost impossible for them to win a Senate majority, period. So if you want Democrats to win, if that's like your life's goal, for whatever, I'm not saying if your goal is to pass something progressive. I'm saying if you just want Democrats to win because you're obsessed with winning, which is gross, then that's why they're all laser focused on Maine, and why the party is super focused on Maine, because they have to win Maine to win the Senate. If they lose Maine, they lose the Senate, and that's why we don't hear from David fucking Sirota or Ryan Grimm or any of these people about Cory Booker having a primary challenge. All of their energy goes to Platner. Thank you, Fascism Watch. I appreciate you. Thank you. So I wish they sort of were honest about that aspect, because I mean, instead I have to like fucking read Politico and look for like buried little nuggets. Let's see if there's another nugget here. It sort of explains. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. So now it's talking about donors. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, friend of the show. Just kidding. Apparently they met, but that's irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. And this is from one senior Democratic Senate aide who, like others in this article, was granted anonymity to speak candidly. Everyone realizes that without Maine, the path to taking back the Senate is impossible. 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 Okay. So, I mean, whatever. Couldn't care less, honestly. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of ambivalent on the question of whether Democrats even deserve to be, because it's not up to me. So, but like people who want the Democratic Party to win the Senate, that's why they're so focused on defending Platner. And also I'm including the Pod Save Bros in this, that's why they're all sort of, even the progressive leaning, Ryan Grimm, Hassan, that's why they all talk about Platner. Because to help Democrats win the Senate, you have to help Platner. So remember this line that we looked at, saying that, from a Democratic strategist, saying that there's a double standard when it comes to Republicans defending their candidates, no matter how many people they kill, whatever, and Democrats not lining up behind Platner. And that's the issue, that we're not all lining up behind the candidate, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, and this article was from June 4th, right? I saw this tweet from friend of the show, bestie, Crystal Ball, and it's from June 5th, right? June 5th in the afternoon. Very clear double standard at play with Platner reporting, because he is anti-Zionist and anti-oligarch. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Before I react to the double standard part. Anti-Zionist? Where are you getting this from? We looked at this website in the beginning of the show, YouTube stream, whatever this is, hangout group with me and two of my closest friends. Hello. He's not anti-Zionist. He never said he was anti-Zionist. I even looked. I looked for articles where he talked about anti-Zionism or the one-state solution or any of that stuff. He has never said anything of the sort. Nothing of the sort. We looked at this website. He calls what Gaza is going through a genocide. Okay. That doesn't make him anti-Zionist. So why would Crystal say he's anti-Zionist? An anti-oligarch. Why? Because she wants to rile up the outrage of the anti-Zionist community, of which I am a proud part. And you are as well, if you're watching this. And if you are a Zionist, block this channel. What are you doing here? But I think she was trying to rile up the anti-Zionists and say, look, they're going after him because he's anti-Zionist. Go vote for him even harder. Post about it. Donate. Which is so fucking gross. He never even said, it would be gross. And you're using it to deflect from, accusations that have nothing to do with anti-Zionism. I'm sorry, you're not gonna. She's trying to frame it. It's so skeezy because she's trying to frame it as mainstream media is going after him because he's anti-Israel. That's not what's happening here. And he never said he was anti-Zionist, and his website makes no mention, zero mention, of the right of return or the one-state solution. So are you just making it up? Bestie? Bestie, come on. Come on, what's happening here? What is going on here? It's annoying. It's annoying, and it's kind of transparent. I mean, I'm not gonna go further because I want to be respectful. But come on. And then I saw this tweet from a other friend of the show, Hassanabi. I do have this account, Marco Foster, muted. They're just a Democrat clipper. I think so the DNC is like paying people now to like clip parts of shows and like throw them on Twitter and like generate discussion, which is really awful and has made Twitter kind of unusable. So I mute the Democrat accounts. But anyway, Hassan reacted to that clip by saying, sorry, I'm gonna mute you, bestie. I can't stand this double standard. And he's talking about Platner. So look, I can't prove this, but I feel like, just my opinion, allegedly, and feel free to disregard it, please. But I believe that the reason all of these progressive commentators are starting to talk about Graham Platner in the terms of double standard, is because there's some kind of coordination going on. Maybe it was an email. Maybe it was an email. Maybe it was just a little message in a group chat from that strategist from the Politico article saying, "Hey guys, this is the language we're going to frame this around. We have to be cohesive. We have to be cohesive with our messaging. Double standard. That's the framing. Go with it. Go." Because they all started using that framing, double standard, after the Politico article. The article was from June 4th. Crystal and Hassan started calling it a double standard on June 5th. Again, maybe they just organically, both of them just thought about it at the same time and came up with that language on their own. I fully acknowledge that. So that's why that's just my opinion, allegedly. That's allegedly I love using, sorry, I realized that I kind of use allegedly in the wrong context. And it kind of makes me laugh to like use it even in ways that don't make sense. So forgive me. That's intentional on my part. Allegedly intentional on my part. And we have, my friends here have beautiful insights, so I'm going to read them. Maybe I'll censor a word here and there just to be respectful to the AI overlords who are not watching this. Trust me, I feel like they'll be bored with my voice. Crystal is and also plotting like all of the zombie Democrat network. She thinks like Bad Hasbara, Francesca Fiorentini, etc., that nobody sees their game. I don't listen to Bad Hasbara, so I can't weigh in on Bad Hasbara. But I agree with you that some of these people, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to be honest. You know, something I noticed, sorry guys for all the tangentials, but something I noticed is that a lot of people love to say, like, you know, frankly speaking, like now it's become like a figure of speech, like to be completely honest, and then they say something very dishonest or kind of boring. So I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna say, to be completely frank, to be completely honest, I think Crystal thinks that she's being very clever when she defends Graham Platner and thinks that people won't notice that there's a little bit of that there's a bias behind the ways that she talks about certain Democrats. And because she's extremely smart. She is. But I think people are also smart. And I miss so much the way because she created Rising, right? My favorite show of all time. She created it. And the ethos behind Rising was, besides the whole thing of like, there's a populist left and a populist right, and which one is going to break through and take over, turns out neither, right? We saw it with both parties. Both parties had a shot. Biden in 2020, Trump in 2024. Left populism and right populism, neither of them are taken seriously by either. Both of them have been co-opted by the two major parties. So that was one of the theses. But the other thesis of Rising is it's like if two strategists were having a conversation off mic, and they were being completely honest. They would say the things that you would never hear on a CNN panel or an MSNBC panel where everybody's trying to like brainwash you into their takes, and they have their talking points, and they have everything they want to be able to persuade you of, and they think they're being so clever, and you wouldn't notice that they're trying to brainwash you. It was just complete honesty, unvarnished truth. And as soon as her and Sagar made the shift to breaking points, you can even see it in their new logo. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't want to speak for that, but like just my opinion, allegedly. Their logo now is of breaking points is red versus blue. So it's like they stopped being as honest with their own audiences. I think they've started curating what they say in terms of what they wanted the outcome of their words to be, or what the takeaway would be for a listener. And people can sniff that out, like Fascism Watch here and myself. So I agree with you on that. They always push Zoran Platner, invite Gabor Mate in business with Deepak Chopra. Oh, I didn't know that. Gabor Mate is in business with Deepak Chopra. Oh my God, wasn't Deepak Chopra wasn't he I might be wrong. So this is alleged. Actually, you know what? Let me not say that until. Look at me starting to hold back. Oh my God, I've been co-opted. Hold on. Let me just Google it real quick and see if I can say it out loud. Sorry, guys. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Ready? Deepak Chopra's name has appeared thousands of times in unsealed US Justice Department files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. My God. So, okay, so sorry. So that's, okay, so Gabor blah, blah, blah. Not blah, 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 but just in business with Deepak Chopra and normalized kibbutz Bernie a package. Yeah. And the Bernie thing especially, I think everybody in the media that has some relationship or connection to Bernie, and it could be, it's not even necessarily access journalism as much as like the discomfort of criticizing someone you know. They've been holding their criticism of him very much so. But I mean, Bernie is also known to like discipline media outlets, independent media outlets who don't kiss his ass. But that has protected him from a lot of the criticism we see going viral now. Because people just don't want to air out that criticism. They think it will go away. It's not going away. You can't triangulate Zionism into something palatable to the left. That's not a thing. Sorry, I hope I'm making sense here. Regarding double standard and coordination, as Malcolm X said in his The Ballad or the Bullet speech, I love that I have such a smart community already of two of my best friends and very smart analysis. Thank you for that. The first thing the white man does is call them for coffee, and some of you can't pass up the coffee. Perfectly said. I think, hold on. I think that's well said. And if Crystal ever watches this, she won't. But that was a little nod. If a riser ever watches this, they'll know what I'm saying. Nebula Network also have some rules with all of the people working with them. Nebula Network, interesting. Is that like a media company or a YouTube streaming kind of umbrella for people? Interesting. Like for FD Signify, as an example, it's not like Chorus with David Pacman, but still brings limits to speech. Yes. Chorus is a great analogy, though. I'm glad you brought that up. I actually thought if I should like talk about it at some point, but I feel like no one really cares what Brian Cohen thinks, so it's like, why even bother? But I completely agree. But that's such a great analogy in terms of like you can hear the things they're not saying. Gaza, like you know, like Brian Cohen thinks he's being so slick, but everyone can tell he's full of shit, like immediately. Like it's like it's instinctual. Like I genuinely don't know who. I mean, it's like they just make slop content, and I'm pretty sure they have like billionaires like Reid Hoffman or whatever, like just like throwing money at them. And you know, and in return, they do exactly what you say, like they hold back or really the price is authenticity, like the price of their silence or whatever. Yeah, we'll take a look at the, oh, sorry. So Seeking Truth was the one who brought up the Malcolm X speech. Yeah, thank you for that. Deepak is Epstein, but okay. They are in business in Vancouver, Canada, in a hotel. Oh my God, what are they doing in a hotel? Oh my, oh my. Many, in other words, many of the self-described progressives or left podcasters couldn't pass up the coffee when the Democratic warlords called. And I think that's sad because I really loved, you know, on Rising, especially. I know I keep coming back to that. I swear, because I started out like Neoliberal Tears started out as a Stan account for Rising, the show Crystal created. Even Neoliberal Tears it was her turn of phrase that she said in a monologue, and that's where I borrowed it from. You know, so if she ever wants to trademark it and take it and make me sort of think of a new nickname, I'd be happy to give it to her because it's her creation, right? Neoliberal Tears. And it's very obvious that she stopped like sharing the unvarnished truth. And I think it's because of what you say, like it's the Democratic warlords who have sort of given a call and said, look, you're in the media, you're very influential. And I'm sure they buttered her up. We love your monologues. We love your analysis. You want to be working on the inside. I mean, do you really want to be on the outside where you don't have any influence over policy? Like, come on, like, you know, it's a two-party system. Join us. And really I think the irony and the sadness in all of this is that, of course, she has no impact over policy. They don't listen to her when it comes to policy. They don't even most of the time write the policy. Lobbyists write the policy. The only time when they listen to people like Kyle or Crystal or Ryan is on messaging. How to sell the Democratic Party. And that's not, you have no influence over policy. So you traded in your truth speaking to an audience that loved you. For what? For what? To be a marketing consultant? I mean, that's kind of, and maybe that's a little harsh. So again, this is all speculation, allegedly. Nebula, okay, so we have a little bit here about Nebula. Nebula is an independent creator-owned streaming platform, that hosts exclusive long-form video essays and ad-free content from independent creators, offering an alternative to YouTube. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it doesn't sound as bad as Chorus. I mean, I hope they don't have any, like, whatchamacallit, limits on things they can and can't. Sorry, cannot say. Um, from Seeking Truth in K9, did Ryan call Crystal to show her the fast lane? You know, I think Crystal is extremely smart, way smarter than Ryan. So the feminist in me thinks that Crystal has full agency over, you know, who she believes and what she believes, and who she chooses to believe. Sorry, which is what makes, I think, her choice to become more Democrat at the expense of being truthful with her audience, or sort of worrying. I think the worry in her head is, oh no, if I criticize Democrats too much, what if they think I'm telling them to vote Republican? And it's such a false idea. First of all, you're infantilizing your listeners. And second of all, I think the risers who were listening, who, like me, who listened to Crystal, were in between either voting Democrat or not voting at all, or voting third party, which is very a negligible part of the population. But this idea that, like, oh, if I criticize Democrats too much, aren't they going to vote for Trump? And that being the calculus in terms of why you would hold back on voting for Democrat. No, you just lost the trust of voters who do have these criticisms of the Democrats and want to hear them reflected back at them so they can think and analyze and better come to a decision. It's not your job to spoon feed people who you think they should vote for and is best for them. That's not how people operate. Your job as a journalist is to be relentlessly honest, relentless with the truth, and trust that people are smart enough to make the best decision for themselves. And maybe you think that them staying home is a bad decision, and you want them to turn out for Democrats. You're not going to get them to do that by working out in your head what you think the analysis should be, and then feeding it to them so they can operate from that. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, that kind of reverse engineering. I don't know if I'm making sense. I hope I am. Yeah. I agree with you. Fascism Watch. I agree with you. And Seeking Truth in K9s. I agree with both of you. Nebula's curated roster, selected by established creators, reinforces ideological conformity, potentially marginalizing radical anti-genocide voices to protect the platform business. You see, this is what a lot of these umbrella media platforms always do. They try to sort of shave off the edges, which I hope I don't succumb to with the three of you. Just kidding. I'm never going to be on any platform, like none of that. Oh, and as I love to remind people periodically, this channel will never be monetized. And I refuse to make money off of this. It's because I feel like it corrupts everything, as we just talked about. So yeah, that's kind of all I had for you guys, unless you have a question or anything I can help you work through. Oh, you know what? I wanted to share this video. This has nothing to do with Big Red. Thank you to Mr. Platner for being on today's stream. Please don't kill me. But with all of the anger right now that's happening in Albania over the Kushners and them buying this remote island in Albania, this creator actually covered a very interesting part that I don't hear anyone discuss, so I just thought I'd share it here because why not? And it's about how that island with Albania also is where it sits geographically is where there's another strait, how the Strait of Hormuz is how we, what people are talking about, and the Strait that Yemen is sometimes blocking because in a response to the genocide in Gaza. So there's actually another strait, and it's right next to that island. And I feel like it's a very interesting aspect that I think gets lost in all of the Ivanka talk and Kushner talk and all that stuff. Cold War base, exactly. So let's listen to that clip, and it's, I believe, from her accent that she's Irish. So go Ireland, and yeah, let's take a listen.
Kushner is not buying that island in Albania to turn it into a luxury resort. The story that they've put out is that this is a luxury resort project backed by the Saudis and facilitated by the Albanian government. So this is the island here. Look what even Google Maps has labeled this as, firstly. But let's zoom out a bit. That island is here, right there. It is at the exact point where the Adriatic Sea becomes the Ionian Sea.
Okay, you see that? You see that? You see that? Google Map dog? It's right there. It's right there. Oh my god. It's a fucking, they want to use it as a fucking shipping route or something, or an alternative to the fucking other straits or whatever.
Approximately 56 miles from Italy. The single most important geographic fact to understand is that whoever controls this island, Strazan, controls the Strait of Otranado. This narrow choke point between Albania and Italy is the only maritime gateway between the Adriatic and the Mediterranean.
Okay, thank you, bestie. Okay, so my bestie here, seeking truth in K9, a maritime choke point. That's the term I was looking for. Thank you. That's what besties are for, right? To finish each other's. There we go.
Historically, every single navy that has ever wanted to dominate this area or control trade through it has had to occupy and fortify Sazan. This means a lot of the work is already done for them. There are 3,600 nuclear survivable bunkers on this island. There's also 10 miles of underground tunnels connecting command posts, ammunition stores, submarine pens, and hideouts. There are Soviet submarine pens and deep water anchorages already there, ready for use. All of this militarizing of the island, preparation for nuclear war, was done during the Hoxha regime. I will do a separate video about the Hoxha regime in Albania. But here's the full chain of control. It passed from the Ottomans to the Italians to the Albanians to the Soviet Navy, back to the Albanians, and now suddenly it's going to a private American cartel. The through
Oi, oi, oi. Okay. So that's what that's about. Yeah, you can tell I don't really have any military experience whatsoever. I mean, I feel like Platner might have known that it was a maritime chokehold, like that kind of stuff. I feel like the news really is focusing on like, oh, luxury resort, but I feel like it's the stuff that is between the lines and they don't really mention that I think is like the scariest. So Eddie Rama, who is Eddie Rama Fascism Watch? Is that a commentator? Sorry, maybe I'll look it up. Hold on. Oh, the Prime Minister of Albania. Yo, I am so uneducated. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I saw the thing. Thank you, Fascism Watch. Oh my god. I saw that he apparently like said that he didn't care about the protests, which is fucking crazy. Like, how are you saying that out loud? Oh my god. Yikes. Crazy. Yeah. I mean, the protests are huge and they're still ongoing. I think today is the 4th day. So, yeah, it's really admirable. Prime Minister, thank you. We'll see. We'll see how long he lasts. With so much discontent. Although I did read that maybe they reversed course on the sale. Am I wrong about that? Let me see here. I mean, at first he said, oh, Iran is trying to interfere, and that's why people are upset. Because it's like when Hillary blamed Russian bots for everybody not liking her. So he was blaming it on like the unrest on Iran. And then, interesting. Okay, so the latest thing I'm seeing here is that he is open to dialogue, the prime minister, but rules out negotiations. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, yikes. Anyway, if you have any information that if you know anything about Albania and would like to share with the class, this is a safe space to learn, to grow. Unless you're a Zionist, not the space for you. Maybe find some anti-racist training near you. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you to Crystal, Ryan, and Graham Platner for being on this journey with us. Thank you. But the MVP, VIP, thank you to Fascism Watch and Seeking Truth in Canines, my besties. And I'll be here tomorrow. If you have any clips you think I should share about the one-state solution or Palestine, I'd love to react to them. Prime Minister Edi Rama has remained defiant, stating that there is absolutely no chance that the investment will stop as long as I'm here. Oh my God. Why are people so corrupt? Oh my God. Crazy. All they care about is the investment, huh? My God. Thank you, Fascism Watch. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody, anybody watching this, the four of you. I appreciate you. And as always, free Palestine, from the river to the sea.